Hello and welcome again to the 17th episode of Let's Begin Their series. And our everyday game changer is Rahul Advani. There was a little bit of gap, internet glitch earlier. Let's just hope we don't experience that glitch right now. And I will be inviting Rahul again to join the conversation. Before I do that, am I audible now, or is there still a lag between the voice and audio? Sorry, audio and the video. Okay.
Is this better now?
Hi, am I audible now? It's better.
Yes, you are
Yeah,
audible.
finally. Yeah.
Okay. So we can
Yeah,
expect that with the internet and everything, so it's all right, I guess. So, Rahul, how are you? How has your Sunday been so far?
it's been good. Like it's been relaxing after a heavy week, so I've been like
Mm-hmm.
chilling for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
like this is the weekends are the only time you get to self introspect. So yeah,
mm.
so that's
So you've
yeah,
chosen this time to self-introspect with the audience as well. That's
yeah,
lovely
yeah,
to know.
yeah, yeah. So
So,
how's it
Rahul,
been
tell
with
us a
you?
little bit. Okay, my morning was good. I had a great coaching session, and now I am in the live, excited and pumped up. Why
Great,
don't you
great.
tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so me telling my about myself. So I am in the digital marketing space for about 4 years, and yeah, my life has been full of like roller coasters, and yeah, so like figuring out stuff, what to do, what not to do. But now finally, I am in a zone where I know the right direction. I know what I have to do right now.
Mm,
5 years down the line, what will I be? I know everything right now. So yeah, I have that mental thought and clarity as of now. So yeah, and yeah, I love cats. I like singing. I like playing the guitar, and yeah, pretty much about myself. I like to express. I'm
mm,
extrovert. I like to talk to a lot of people. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
so that's it.
That's lovely. And it feels so good to know that you know what is your direction and which way you are headed. And that is
Right,
really
right.
lovely. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Also, since you mentioned, that earlier it was a bit here and there, but eventually you realized where do you really want to go? What is your true direction? And so, what are the struggles that you face in your everyday life?
Okay, so as we all know, like life, the word life is only full of like challenges. So each and every day we come across many things. Right from childhood, like we are bombarded with like lots of information, and it's like overwhelming at times because uh you wake up, you one day you wake up, oh, this is life, and then you kind of try to adapt with it, and daily you come across many people, situations, and there are a lot of things. Your parents are forcing you to do this, that, and eventually you figure out something. But the day you grow up, you realize, oh, this was not that. There is much more to
Hmm.
it. Like from that day, the real anxiety and boredom starts. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, yeah, so that's my take on challenges as a whole in life. And yeah, yeah, that's it.
That's about it. Okay, so you've been living life in a certain way, but when you reach a particular age with your
Hmm.
set of experiences, you realize that, okay, all the things that we were probably told, that is not how things are supposed to be. And then you have your own kind of realization that leads to certain kind of conflict between what you have known and what you are realizing right now. And you said that is
Right,
when the
right.
life and the boredom really starts. It's
Hmm.
interesting how you've put it there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
actually.
Rahul, what is that one challenge that you have overcome or you are in the process of overcoming?
Yeah, so I've faced quite a lot of challenges right from career, society, peer pressure, and there are a lot of things you face on a daily basis. But one of
Mm,
them that I overcome is like looking at things from a different perspective. So I used to like so there are many people who are just stuck in their thought processes. They can't really take action. So they are
Mm.
like always thinking that I'll do this, do that, but they can't really put it into action. So that's
Yeah.
the thing that I overcome, because even I, at a point, I was like that where I used to just think about doing things but not do it actually in
Yeah.
reality. So
Mm.
it was just inside but not coming into the real world. So
Mm.
that is what I've overcome now, because I immediately put my thoughts into action. That's the thing that I've overcome lately. And yeah,
Mm.
laziness and lethargy, which was into me since a lot of time, but now over a period of time, I've come up, I've kind of shifted my thought process, and it's like, uh, now it's like I know what I want, and I can do
Mm.
what I think. So it's like that.
Mm-hmm. So you've mentioned that one of the major challenges that you have overcome and are still kind of in the process of overcoming is the aspect where people stay in their mind a lot, where they are constantly thinking about their thoughts, which leads to overthinking, then procrastination, laziness, everything. So you
Right, right,
realize that that is what is happening with you, and then you started putting your thoughts into action. That has
correct.
reduced your process of
So
overthinking
yeah,
or staying in it. Mm.
yeah, and the main point I want to put across is that you have to it's like when you say you have to do a particular task, so you start with small steps. So
Mm.
for example, when you go to a gym, you need to, if you want to make your back strong, so you need to like
Mm.
set small goals, like okay, I will do uh, 2 pull-ups in a day. I'll do
Mm.
2 pull-ups, and then the next day I'll increase it to 3. So it's like
Mm.
you start with half a pull-up, then you do 1 pull-up, then you do two, and eventually you like do 10, 15 pull-ups at once. So it's like
Mm.
you set small goals, you overcome that, and then gradually it's like one day at a time.
Mm. One day at a time, taking small baby steps. So it's not about just putting all your thoughts into action, but if
Yeah,
there is a particular thought you want to put into action, then it's not that you just go ahead and completely get done with it. There are steps
right, right.
involved, one day at a time, like you said. That is very powerful, I think, because we often don't realize the importance of these small steps.
Hmm,
Sometimes we are so overwhelmed thinking about the bigger goal that we don't realize we have not taken any steps. Instead, if
hmm,
we are just taking one day at a time and taking one small step towards our goal, we are at least moving one small step ahead. And then that bigger
right.
goal is not seem so overwhelming. So what you've mentioned here is definitely really very powerful. What I'm also interested in knowing is, Rahul, at what point did you realize that, okay, I'm staying a lot in my head, I really need to do something about it? What was the point of motivation for you?
So it was like the turning point was basically where it was getting too much, and you know y- there was this inner calling where you think that no, right now I have to like make I have to like kind of figure out where I want to go in life. And so that is where I started like self introspecting and realizing, okay, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. Okay, I need to focus on the weaknesses and make it one of my strengths. So it's like yeah, and that was my turning point in life. So where I got this self-realization from within, that
Mm.
this is what I want to really do in life. So that is the thing. And that's when I started, that's when I started putting everything into action. And yeah,
Mm.
I overcome my struggles.
So, what was it like? Like you said, it was an inner calling. You realize it is getting too much. What was that point like? What was that, if you don't mind sharing over here, what kind of incident had taken place, or what was going on around you at that point, which forced you to actually start taking action?
It was a lot of parental pressure, you can say, that
Mm.
you know, people constantly saying, okay, oh, like what do you exactly want to do with your life or something like that. So
Mm.
those things kind of took me to like introspecting and thinking about things so that eventually I put those into action. So yeah,
Mm.
mainly society and parental pressure took me to that level, because
Mm.
people say, okay, what's happening, and then you were like, okay, I need to do something about this. So that was the
Mm.
turning point.
Well, you've put it across so beautifully because often we perceive societal pressure and parental pressure in a negative way. But how you
Hmm.
are explaining is if that was the point of motivation that pushed you to think कि actually क्या चल रहा है मेरे साथ? What is really happening? What do I really want? And you
Right.
started reflecting on your life and then started taking the action. You've just
Hmm.
changed our perception on the parental pressure and society pressure as well. So it really
Yeah.
depends on how you are taking those particular instances, how you are dealing with those particular instances, and then going ahead. Thank you so much
True.
for sharing that. So what you're saying is that when you were externally pressurized to think about what's going on, what you want to do next, that is what pushed you and motivated you to reflect on your life. And when you reflected
Right.
on your life, you realized that you are spending a lot of time in your thoughts, and maybe it's now time to put those thoughts into action.
Hmm. Correct.
Lovely. So, what are the steps that you had taken or you are always taking to, make sure that you're always putting your thoughts into action?
So one of them is so fitness was something which hit me hard back in 2016, where I was I suddenly got this thing that I want to like kind of build my physique to another level,
Hmm.
and that's what gave me the so there are certain chemicals which are released in the body when you exercise, and I got kind of addicted to that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's so that was a positive addiction. So which led me to keep my mental thought and clarity in place. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so every day like my exercise was one of the major reasons of change, where I constantly push myself to like lifting weights and everything. So which got me a lot of motivation and clarity of thought.
Mm. Wow, okay. So
Yeah.
when you started exercising, you got this thing that you want to become a fitness fad and you want to start working out and things. And when you were exercising, there were those positive, happy hormones, I think, that were getting released, which are linked to the exercises and stuff. And that got you hooked to continue exercising. And exercising is something that helps you to stay clear in your mind and to take clear active steps towards doing what you want to do.
Right, right.
Other than exercise, what more do you do or did you do to step out of your thought process?
Other than exercise, you can say like talking to people. So like talking to a lot of people made me get new information about how people function, and listening to uh, people who have already experienced a lot of life, and yeah, watching a lot of YouTube videos of discipline, and how to like keep yourself disciplined so that you lead a better life. So
Mm,
yeah, that is what discipline mainly helped me a lot overcome
mm,
my struggles, because when you work in a structure, your day goes like a when you work in a structure, your day goes well. When you don't plan your day, it's like all haywire. So it's like that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was one of the reasons. Yeah, mainly.
So setting a routine and following a structure and knowing what you have to do in that particular day helped you to stay on track. Like you mentioned, it was the discipline of following the routine and the schedule that you had made for yourself that helped you to
Right, right.
overcome this particular challenge. And in the beginning of the conversation, Rahul, you were also talking about perception. the change of perception. Can you throw some light on that too?
Yeah, so change of perception. So it's like when a child is kind of small, so our brain is like a sponge, like it constantly
Mm-hmm.
absorbs all of the information around you, is whether it can be parents, your friends, uh, relatives, all those things kind of pile, like you are just absorbing everything. You don't know what's happening, but subconsciously you're kind of absorbing every single moment of your life, and your
Yeah.
habits and everything, your habits and everything what's going around in your life gets absorbed quickly. And
Mm.
later on, what happens after the age of 14, we kind of realize, okay, we are functioning in a certain way. We do everything out of compulsion. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's automatic because we have been trained in a certain way and we just work. And then we realize, oh, we need to be, we are not, we should not be a part of people around us, but we need to be our own self. So that is what
Yeah.
we realize, that we are not, the result is not me. It's like combined of people around us. So then we realize, okay, I need to do something for myself. So
Mm.
so the main thing about changing perception is that to discard previous thought patterns and create new thought patterns on that. It's like you cannot change your thought patterns,
Mm.
but you can override stuff on that. For example,
Yeah.
it's like painting on a wall. So once you paint a single color on the wall, it's there. You can't change the color. You can only put another color and change the wall paint. You can't, otherwise you need to break the wall. That's it.
Mm. Mm.
So yeah, you have to feed in more and more information so that the past gets faded out, and eventually it's like out of your zone.
Hmm. Lovely. So you had mentioned that since our childhood, we are constantly surrounded by people and we have been influenced because as a child, we don't really have that kind of power to decide this is right, this is wrong. We are basically just
Yeah,
absorbing all the influences everywhere, be it parental, societal, peer pressure, friends, and all the things that we are consuming, maybe in school and at home, watching TV, whatever. So at
yeah.
these points, we are only constantly under the influence of people and not getting enough time to realize what is our individuality. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, as and when we grow, we realize that no, we cannot just work on the influence of people. We have to be our individual selves. We have to operate on that level. So at that point, recognizing that you will have to unlearn the things that you have learned, learn
Yeah.
new things to get that inner motivation to, look for the right kind of information, like you said, to go on YouTube, check motivational videos, or getting influenced by rather positive or helpful content as compared to getting influenced by anything randomly. So taking that decision to unlearn all that we had earlier learned and learning new things that are going to benefit us or to help us recognize who are we or how we are on the individual level. That's really
Right.
profound, I should say, actually, because that is kind of true. We need to
Hmm.
recognize that all that we have learned, all the beliefs that we have up to a certain point is not necessary that is true. And we need to start unlearning the things that are not benefiting us in whatever
Right.
ways. We need to start unlearning them. And like you mentioned, it also starts by recognizing what are the things that are not helping us
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
taking active steps towards it.
But there's one more point that, it's very easy to say all this, but actually applying it is very tough. So it's like
Mm.
that's why I told you, like, take small steps. So when you take small steps, then it eventually grows to a bigger picture. But then it's like you need to be clear that no, I want to change my life right now. So if
Mm.
you really want to change, then you will do it. Otherwise, if you don't want to change, then you will be the same person your entire life. So that's that.
Yeah. it's about taking actions every day because खाली सोचने से कुछ नहीं होगा. We will actually have to put in the action. And it's about taking small actions. And you will be motivated, like you said, you will only be motivated to take those steps if and only if you have decided that you want to change. If that desire to change is not there, then you're not going to take the action and then you're not going to change. Hmm.
Totally, totally.
Wow, that's heavy. Heavy and true. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rahul. So, what would you like to tell our audience? Let's begin where?
So, let's begin where? Let's begin where means like you need to begin by taking small steps. So that's where you begin. So let's begin where? Let's begin at taking small steps. Yeah. So that's
Yes, lovely. Is there anything more you would like to share with us today?
um pretty much everything covered. But yeah, it's that like the only thing is that in the like when we are small, uh we enjoy life a lot. Like we look at things that everything is new to us. Like we like, okay, oh, this is nice, this is nice. Everything seems so new, and like there is a lot of happiness around because we don't know stuff. But when you get to know, eventually we're like, oh, this is the real struggle to look. Like, you need to make so much money to enjoy all this in the world. So that's what the point is. But then again, I feel that everything should be taken in a state of flow. Like whatever is happening in our childhood, it happens as a flow. But later on, we overthink on life. So we should not overthink. We should just take one step at a time and then let it keep going. So that's what I want to put it across, that over stressing will not give you anything. It's like just stay in the state of flow and keep doing your work. That's it. So yeah,
Stay in the state of flow and keep doing what you're doing. And remember how you were in the childhood, reflect on how small things made you happy, and
hmm.
try to be that way instead of getting overwhelmed and stressed about what is to come, what next
Yeah,
would come. Lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rahul. On the Children's Day, we have reflected a lot on how our childhood is affecting who we are in
yeah,
person
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how we need to unlearn things that we had learned in our childhood. So you
Quite a
have made it very
relevant topic.
relevant to the day as well.
A very relevant topic we spoke about today.
Yeah, respect, respect. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Rahul. How are you feeling right now, having shared your experiences and thoughts with people?
I'm feeling good. Like whoever has seen this video probably might have learned a lot from me today. And probably if you save this live video, I'll share it on my story as well.
That I'm definitely doing. It's going on IGTV. You can share that.
Great, great, great. So
I will just,
whoever hasn't watched it might watch it later. I think it's a
yeah,
Sunday, so not many people have joined the live, but it's fine.
yeah, that's all right. It's going to go on IGTV. They can watch it later. But the people who are present here, would you like to ask any questions to Rahul? Hmm. Well, I am definitely taking back that you need to put in small steps instead of, just getting overwhelmed with the bigger goals or bigger action. Like you said, it starts with half a pull up and not one pull up a day. It's about half a pull
Hmm.
up. And in some cases, it is about even making that decision. Okay, I've decided I'm going to start the pull up. That is also one step ahead.
Yeah,
So I'm
actually,
definitely
yeah.
taking that back. And
Hmm.
I will try not to be too hard on myself because of all this. So you have definitely inspired me for sure. Thank you so much, Rahul.
Hmm.
And thank you for being our 17th LED Game Changer in the Let's Begin There series. Since no one has asked any questions as of now, I'm assuming there are no questions. But if there are, they will post it on the comment section in the IGTV, and you can feel free to respond.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rahul. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good
Thanks.
day. And happy Children's Day.
Happy Children's Day.
Bye.